If you grew up in the mid-19th century, life likely felt like it was defined by two very different worlds. There was the world of the town, with its Sunday school, its rigid manners, and its strict rules about what a boy should do with his time. And then there was the world of the river, the woods, and the dark, unknown places where the rules didn't seem to apply. Mark Twain's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer lives right in the tension between those two worlds. The story takes us to a small river town called St. Petersburg, a place that feels sun-drenched and dusty, where the Mississippi River is the heartbeat of everything. We meet Tom Sawyer, a boy who is less of a hero in the traditional sense and more of a professional troublemaker. He lives with his Aunt Polly, a woman who tries her best to instill some sense of morality in him through a mix of discipline and deep, often frustrated, affection. Tom is clever, perhaps too clever for his own good. He has this innate ability to understand what people want, and he uses it to his advantage. One of the most famous moments in the book happens early on, when Tom is tasked with the most dreaded chore imaginable, whitewashing a long wooden fence on a beautiful Saturday. Instead of moping, Tom realizes that if he makes the work look like a privilege, he can turn his punishment into a profit. He pretends to be deeply absorbed in his task, making it look like an exclusive, enjoyable activity. Before long, the neighborhood kids are lining up, offering him little treasures like marbles or a piece of a kite, just for the chance to help him paint. It's a masterclass in social manipulation, and it tells us exactly who Tom is. He's a boy who wants to be in control of his own fun. But as the summer progresses, the light-hearted mischief of childhood starts to collide with the much darker realities of the adult world. One night, Tom and his friend Huckleberry Finn, the son of the town drunk, a boy who lives entirely outside the rules of society, sneak off to the graveyard. They're looking for something to do, perhaps something a bit spooky, but they stumble upon something much more terrifying. While hiding in the shadows, they witness Injun Joe murder a man named Dr. Robinson. In the chaos of the night, the blame is shifted onto Muff Potter, a kind-hearted but often intoxicated man who was present at the scene. This is the moment the book shifts. The story is no longer just about a boy avoiding chores, it's about a boy carrying a secret that could destroy a life. Tom and Huck make a blood oath to never speak of what they saw, terrified that Injun Joe will come after them. This secret becomes a heavy, physical weight on Tom. He starts to see the world differently. The townspeople's superstitions, their judgments, and the looming injustice against Muff Potter all start to press in on him. He's caught between the instinct to protect himself and the growing, uncomfortable stirrings of his own conscience. Seeking an escape from the pressure of school, the weight of his secret, and the expectations of Aunt Polly, Tom decides to run away. He, Joe Harper, and Huck Finn head off to Jackson's Island to live as pirates. To them, this is a grand, romanticized adventure. They spend their days camping, playing at being outlaws, and enjoying the freedom of the wilderness. They are so disconnected from the town that they don't realize the town thinks they have drowned. When the boys eventually return, they don't return as runaways, but as celebrities. They arrive during their own funeral service, appearing like ghosts risen from the river. The town is overjoyed, treating them as heroes of a grand tragedy. Tom, being Tom, leans into this new status. He enjoys the attention and the way it changes his social standing, especially when it comes to his crush, Becky Thatcher. But even as he plays the part of the hero, the reality of the murder is still lurking in the background, waiting for the right moment to resurface. As the summer heat intensifies, the stakes move from the playground to the survivalist drama. During a schoolroom incident, Tom shows a sudden flash of true maturity when he takes the blame for a mistake Becky made, protecting her from the teacher's wrath. It's a small moment, but it marks a shift in his character. He's moving away from the boy who manipulates for his own gain toward a young man capable of genuine sacrifice. This transition reaches its peak during an excursion to McDougal's cave. Tom and Becky wander too far into the labyrinthine depths of the cavern and become lost. The adventure they once dreamed of becomes a terrifying reality. They are faced with darkness, hunger, and the crushing weight of isolation. While they are lost, Tom discovers that they aren't alone in the cave. Injun Joe is also there, hiding from the law. The cave becomes a place of high-stakes survival, where the lines between childhood play and life-and-death struggle are completely erased. Eventually, Tom manages to lead Becky out of the cave, emerging onto the banks of the Mississippi River. They are survivors, but the resolution of the story is both triumphant and grim. While searching the cave for treasure, Tom and Huck find a cache of gold that Injun Joe had hidden. Boys become wealthy overnight, but the cost of the mystery is revealed. Injun Joe, having been trapped in a part of the cave that was sealed off, has died of starvation. He becomes a tragic, hollow figure, a reminder of the darkness that was lurking just beneath the surface of the town's sunny exterior. The story concludes with Tom and Huck as local legends. Tom is being groomed for a life of respectability, moving toward a future that involves education, social standing, and a place in the community. Huck, however, finds the prospect of being civilized almost unbearable. He struggles with the idea of having to follow rules, go to school, and eat regular meals. He only agrees to stay in society because Tom convinces him that even robbers have to be respectable. When we look back at the shape of this story, we see a profound exploration of what it means to grow up. Twain uses Tom's journey to navigate the complex transition from the innocence of childhood to the responsibilities of adulthood. At the beginning of the book, Tom's lies are small and selfish. They are tools used to get out of work or to gain a bit of social clout. But by the end, his actions are driven by a much deeper moral compass. He learns that life isn't just about the games we play, it's about the weight of the truths we carry and the responsibility we have toward others. There is also a recurring tension between civilization and nature. The town of St. Petersburg represents the structured, religious, and often hypocritical world of adults. It's a place of rules, social hierarchies, and superficial respectability. The river and the cave, on the other hand, represent a wilder, more honest, and more dangerous freedom. Tom spends much of the book trying to navigate between these two poles. He wants the freedom of the pirate, but he also craves the status and the romantic recognition of the town hero. This theme of appearance versus reality is woven through every layer of the narrative. The town sees a group of dead boys and sees a tragedy. Tom sees an opportunity for a grand entrance. The town sees Muff Potter as a criminal. Tom knows he is innocent. Even the concept of respectability is questioned. By the end, we see that the civilized world is often just a set of masks people wear, while the real, messy, and sometimes violent truths are found in the shadows of a cave or the darkness of a graveyard. Twain also uses the character of Huckleberry Finn to act as a constant grounding force. If Tom is the boy who is learning how to fit into society, Huck is the boy who has already decided he doesn't want to. Huck is the embodiment of pure, unadulterated freedom. He doesn't care about social standing, or what people think, or the rules of the church. Through Huck, we see the cost of civilization, the loss of autonomy, and the imposition of constraints. While Tom's arc is one of integration, Huck's arc is one of resistance. Ultimately, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer is a story about the loss of innocence, but it isn't a cynical one. It suggests that growing up isn't just about losing the ability to play, but about gaining the ability to do what is right, even when it's difficult. Tom starts the book as a boy who uses people to make his own life easier. But he ends it as a young man who uses his strength to protect others and face the consequences of the real world. It's a journey from the sun, drenched easy mischief of a summer afternoon into the dark, complicated, and ultimately more meaningful reality of being human.